Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to the Coffee Shop Conversation Show. This is where we connect entrepreneurs from around the world with each other, giving you 1 hour with all your best friends from around the world, except we're talking only entrepreneurial topics. I am Nastine.
And that would make me Peter.
And we are the co-founders of Explore Protect Entrepreneurial Haven. A company that is founded to connect entrepreneurs from around the world with each other, helping them form the relationships that are going to push their businesses into the next level and onto the Forbes 500 list. That is what we're here for. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to encourage you to participate in the chat. Also remember to like, subscribe, click the bell notification icon, share this with all of your friends, bring all of the entrepreneurs around the world together. And literally, it's like we're all going to a coffee shop online from the convenience of your own home, and we're chatting to each other like we're best friends, because that's what we are.
And on another note, if you have questions that you need answers to, drop us a line.
Yeah, we'd love to answer them for you. Okay, on that topic, today we are chatting about how to stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur. So this is a topic that I know absolutely nothing about, but that is 120% okay, because we have some of the best entrepreneurs in the world that are here with us right now, ready to share their best tips with you. Okay, so the way that the show is going to work, we're going to introduce the topic. So the topic is how to stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur. The next thing that we need all of our participants to do is, if you're happy to chat on this topic or have anything to say at any point in the conversation, we need you to put up your heart emoticon on the screen like so, and me and Peter will then cue you into the conversation. Let's have a nice, robust, insightful, amazing conversation together. And Glenda's drinking from our cup. I shouldn't have said that. That's like a thing.
It is a thing.
Okay, so if you can figure out why that is meaningful, post it in the chat on YouTube now. The person that gets it the first time around wins something, like points that don't mean anything. We don't know yet. We're making it up as we go. But if you know why Linda Dent is drinking from our Explore Protect cup, post it in the chat on YouTube now. Anyway, so procrastination, guys. See what I did there? Who wants to chat to us about procrastination? Also, remember quickly before we cue the people in, at the end, when they're like done talking, each person is going to just give you their answer, their take, their conversation bit, and then at the end they're going to say their name and their business name and a little quick, like 30 seconds of what they're doing.
And also just remember that on this topic, if you come across somebody that is in this panel that answers something that you want to know more about, their link will be in the description. You can just literally reach out and have a direct conversation with that person, because if you have questions, there's nothing better than a real answer.
So that's just one of the ways that we're connecting entrepreneurs from around the world. On that note, procrastination. Guys, entrepreneurs, people.
Should we start?
What do you guys have to say about this? Hearts up if you're ready to speak about this topic.
Oh, there we go. We have a Colby.
Are you guys procrastinating? Okay, let's go with the Chris Colby first. Chris, what do you have to say about how to stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur?
Well, to be fair, I had a bit of chance to think about leading up to the show. But anyway, I am inherently a perfectionist. I have this horrible need for something to be absolutely 100% unattainably perfect. And as a result, I often look at things and go, no, well, I've got this problem and I've got to figure this out, and that's not going to be perfect. And then actually you end up going down the rabbit hole of absolute procrastination. Because if you feel you can't get it 100% perfect, then you find excuses not to do it, and then it never happens. And then you always leave it to number 99.999%, and you have to rush it through and make it happen. And then it's even worse than if you'd started from the scratch. So my approach for the last year has been just do it and make it better as you go along. Just do it Something is always better than nothing. So put it out there, get it done. People will give you feedback, some of it good, some of it negative, and that's how you improve and grow. So really working hard and getting past that perfectionistic approach. And literally just the mantra is something is better than nothing. Just do it and don't leave it to number 99.999999999%. And that's my top tip for procrastination. You're not going to get it perfect. You're not going to get it 100% the first time around, but just do something. That's it for me, Chris Colby from Live to Dream, your marketing consultant that reboots your marketing.
Love it, Chris. Thank you so much. And I love that. I think I specialize in just doing stuff because I'm like, I think I have the opposite problem of procrastination. What's that even called? Like, I have to do stuff now. I hate it if stuff is like just hanging around. Anyway, moving on from there, some really, really awesome insights. Thank you so much, Chris. Let's go to the Levy. Mr. Levy, what is your take on how to stop procrastination as an entrepreneur?
I'm looking for a good coach to teach me that. So I think first of all, Estine, I want to tell them how to describe you, because you are the opposite of that. There's only one way to describe that. So if you either procrastinate or you jump out the plane without the parachute. So there's two opposite ends of the scale. But I think what Chris said, very much so. We're looking for perfection. And sometimes we need to ask, why are we looking for perfection? So he's 100% right, but there's a lot behind that. It could be the fear of something not being right, and that we're scared to put it out there because we're scared of our own of being vulnerable, and that can cause us to procrastinate. And I say that because I've been there, I've done that, and I still do it. And it's just something I think that's within us, and we've got to learn to just step into it and go. There comes a point where you've got to say it's okay. It's good enough, and your audience will tell you whether it's good enough or not. If you're going to worry about whether everybody in the audience thinks, or whoever you're targeting, or whatever you're doing your project for, is going to think you're going to wait until you get it right for everybody, you will procrastinate. You will be on an impossible journey of actually presenting or getting out what you want to. So I think that's the one thing, is what sits behind the perfectionism. And I think a big thing is fear. I also it was quite interesting because I didn't know that this was going to be the topic today. And through my experience with actually one of our tribe members last week, inspired me to write my Motivational Monday today, because we had a long session, and that was exactly about being right can be wrong. So waiting to be right can lead to procrastination, exactly as has been said, and in some cases even paralysis, where nothing gets done at all. And if we're worrying about being wrong, what others will think, can cause us also to withhold suggestion of new ideas, resulting in stifling creativity. I'm actually just reading my post. Putting the new ideas on the table at the risk of being wrong could lead to novel solutions. And if you think, where do we get our greatest learnings from as we grow on all our journeys, wherever we are on it, and whatever we're doing? Our greatest learnings come from, if you ask people, our greatest learnings come more from our mistakes than from our successes. And yet that's a place we fear to go. So I would say, as to entrepreneurs out there, do your best. You are your best you right now. Do your best, put it out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to show up. The worst is that you'll learn from it and you'll do better next time. And that just adds to your growth. And that's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond.
You got it.
Love it, Stephen. Thank you so much. That is beautiful. And I just wanted to say, like, with a tribe like you guys around us, like, how can we not feel good enough and okay, and like it's fine to just try your best. I think that is one of the most important and amazing benefits of this actual tribe. Like literally the other day, I had like a discussion with Marlon, and I got onto the call with him, and I'm like, I am so scared every time I need to go and do this like training for accountants. Like I have such imposter syndrome. And he's like, but Nastine, it's okay. Everyone feels that way. Just be you and be vulnerable and be fine. And you're gonna like, you'll be fantastic. Even if you mess it up, you'll be fine. So it's like having people like those around you, like just like always affirming that is absolutely amazing. So 10 points for everybody that noticed what just happened. So guys, we just have to officially introduce her before she goes back to her actual laptop. We love to do this. We try and visit as many of our tribe members as possible, and this time we actually have a real live Linda Dent with us. So she'll be speaking to you shortly, but Linda, it's so amazing to actually have you here. Thank you so much for coming to visit us.
Thank you guys for putting me up. I'm really excited to be in Cape Town, and I'll see some of you while I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. Okay, amazing. So moving on from Mr. Levy, let's now go to Canada and to find out more about not procrastinating as an entrepreneur. It's always a treat to hear from you, Christine. What do you have to say on this topic?
Well, there were two things that my network had said to me pretty early on in my entrepreneurial journey that really stuck with me. One of them I actually posted on my Sunday reflection in my own community that I run yesterday. The first is that procrastination is essentially the slow death of your dreams. And the cure for it is action, because action is the lifeblood of your business. It is the lifeblood of your personal growth. And so you need to choose. Are you willing to give up on your dreams, or are you willing to take uncomfortable action? That was the first one. Second one was that procrastination essentially is a cluttered mind. And so the thing that you need to recognize is that procrastination really comes down to fear. Stephen and Chris have alluded to that. However, the reason we procrastinate is we think we need to get 10 steps ahead. And I will tell you, no dominoes fall 10 rows at a time. So the focus is, what's the one thing? And I think the one thing is the most powerful thing around. What's the one thing, whether it's the first customer, first conversation, first post, first live, everything is about the one. And that can be really freeing. And when you show up in business, I am mindful of this every single time I show up to make impact with one person. One person. Because if I've showed up and made impact with one person, I have created a massive ripple. And so it's not worth being scared of. I show up in service to impact one. And so for me, procrastination is a choice, and you can make other choices. Action, focus on one, and recognize, embrace the suck. You will never achieve mastery. You will never achieve greatness by doing something for the first time. But remember what a first time is? It's that magic number of one. So that's what really lights me up about it. Don't get caught in your head. Action is the cure for everything. Go make the impact. Get out of your own head and focus on what you can do for someone else to help them on their journey. That's what lights me up. I am a business success coach. My name is Christine Campbell-Rappin. Come to you from Canada today in a snowy climate. We've had lots of snow over the night. And my business is Clear Acceleration Inc. I help people go from idea to implementation. And the key thing is, do you want it? If you want it, you have permission to succeed. Hope that's helpful.
So helpful. Thank you, Christine.
You know, if I go back in history and I take a look at our very first Gossan event that we ever had.
I was just thinking the same
now,
thing.
Linda will remember because she was there. It was a disaster. It was pretty and it was gorgeous and it was non-functional and it was disastrous. We had this event, we had breakout rooms, we had all these people.
We were running it through Facebook, not Zoom.
We were running it on a different platform, and I locked myself out of my own room. I couldn't access my own room where the people were. I was walking around in the background looking at Nastine going,
And I'm like, what are you actually doing?
It was it was such a disaster. We had to pull everybody back into one main room. A lot of people left. They were like, this is a waste of time. And they were probably right. But some people actually saw behind that and they stayed.
A lot of them, actually.
A lot of them. Some of them are here today. So in the process of building that, we didn't realize at the time that we were the very first people to bring that kind of event to light. We didn't know that. We didn't know that other companies were trying to develop that space but hadn't yet achieved it. We didn't know that the algorithm for separating people and putting them into breakout rooms generally didn't work and was a nightmare to deal with. But we went ahead and we did it anyway. And if we look back, if we hadn't just gone ahead and done it and failed miserably, but yet at the same time achieved a little bit of success because some of those people are still here today. So don't procrastinate, just do it.
And definitely embrace the suck, because it was very sucky to see, like, I was sitting there, there's like 15 people on my screen, including Linda, who I was afraid of at that time. And like Peter's just like walking around aimlessly. I'm like, what are you doing? Who is hosting your room? Now I can't get into my room. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's true. Like, but all of us have those stories, all of us. And I think that's something I think we should shed light on. Like, we all have those awful first steps. The interesting thing about that is you couldn't have learned what you learned if you'd watched somebody else do it well. And I remember my first live training, I launched a course. I had invited people. I had a ton of people that were supporting me, not necessarily my audience, but supporting me as a person. And I ended up having like 100 people saying, yeah, I'll be there. And 3 people showed up. At the end of it, I had 2 in the room. One was someone who is in my industry, who was watching me as a professional to take tips and strategies from. And one was a person who was really my audience. And that's when I said, I showed up for that one. I knew he needed what I had to offer. And it wasn't my program. It was the support and the tools. And I remember being gutted at the end of it. Like, I was so disheartened. I had to have a bit of a sulk. I'll be honest, I did. I had a bit of a sulk. But in hindsight, when I, went for a walk, came back to my office, I'm like, I wouldn't have learned about the technology, how to invite the right people, what went really well. And I would never have made the second step and the third step if I hadn't had the courage to just put myself out there. And so, never think that somebody has it all together. We're different chapters of the same journey. And always showing up as a hot mess saying, what's the worst that can happen? I learn. Hello.
I love that.
A gift to learn. Go do it. Be brave. Say, I am brave enough for this. That's a mantra that comes up in my life and my clients a lot. I am brave enough for this.
I like that.
I love that so much. Thank you, Christine. And I love you even more for sharing your war story as well. It makes me feel so much better. Chris, I think we need to actually one day just have like a coffee shop show where we share like entrepreneurial fails. Like, can we just do that? Because I have so many stories. You guys will freaking laugh and laugh and laugh at the stuff that I've messed up.
We made it a competition. I might win, but let's see.
Amazing.
I might lose.
Really, Peter?
I'm trying to think of something.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
How about getting locked out of your own room when you're supposed to be hosting it? Like,
that was the come now.
That was Facebook. Peter doesn't fail. It was Facebook. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Let's hear from Marty. Marty, I'm so keen to hear from you. On the coffee shop show today, what is your thing about how to stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur?
So there's a couple of things that popped to mind while everybody else was talking. The first thing is, what procrastinators tend to do is like, no, I don't want to do it today. I'll feel like doing it tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow you ain't going to feel like doing it. So just do it today. I mean, why not? The other thing is like, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Or if you Brian Tracy, you'll go with eat a frog. And sorry, one thing that Christine said that resonated with me is like, we all start as amateurs. like the first time you do something, no one starts out as an expert. So unless we learn those mistakes or make those mistakes we can laugh about afterwards, not during, you know what, you're not going to grow and you're not going to step forward. The other thing also, Christine mentioned about a cluttered mind. So if there's ever a song on radio or an advert on radio that really irritates you, okay, and you turn down the radio or switch stations, why does it irritate you and why does it come back into your mind? Because your mind goes like, I haven't finished listening to this. I need to finish the song or I need to finish this advert. So it irritates you, so you keep singing the same old irritating jingle. It's the same with our minds, with tasks that we have to do. So while you have these tasks to do a brain dump. In other words, write everything you have to do on a piece of paper and break it down. I mean, there's techniques, methods, and stuff that that we can share. I mean, Nikki as a VA herself, I'm sure she's got input there as well. And like I said, Brian Tracy would eat that frog. So break your ugliest frog into small bite-sized pieces and handle them one at a time. Yeah, and that's me. That's Marty from Complete Virtual Assistants. We help business executives save time and money in the process and get them organized and help them stop procrastinating.
Thank you, Marty. That was absolutely epic. What amazing tips from one of our most amazing virtual assistants. Thank you so much. Awesome, guys. And on that note, let's move straight on to the actual woman of the moment.
I think we should.
Linda Dent, what do you have to say about how to stop procrastinating?
First, two short stories. Number one, I'm in charge of an entire Zoom meeting as well with at least 40 people in the Zoom meeting. And about 15 minutes from the end, while someone's in the middle of their presentation, I pressed end and I'm the host. And I didn't mean to press end. I think I wanted to try and close or just move to another screen. And the minute that happened, I remember going, oh no. It's like, oh no. And I had to reach for the phone and quickly, luckily it was a WhatsApp group for most of the people. And I was able to say, so I'm just absolutely gutted that I did that. It was just the most embarrassing thing ever. But you know what? You think you want the ground to open up and swallow you whole. But nobody shouted at me. No one was nasty. No one said, you are the idiot of the moment. They understood that this is something that can happen, right? So you don't need to feel like the idiot of the moment. That's my kind of bad story. The other one is a good story. And it relates to something that I think all of us have had some fear with, is to be on screen and that need to have perfection. And I don't know about you, but prior to COVID times, I would not have done this. I would speak to people voice only, no video, no Skype, none of that. It's just either in person or phone. And when it came to running, the first year of my business, and someone said, you really need to get out there and learn how to do videos. Well, I wanted to go through every step to get it perfect, right? The lighting must be right. I must be right. My hair must be done. The makeup must be perfect. Everything must be 100%. And I must practice like I'm giving a speech. And I did that. I did like 3 or 4 videos. Eventually, it took about a year to get videos out in the first place. But once I put them out there, it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I had made them too perfect. And the feedback that I got was, that's not you, Linda. That's not the genuine you. You can tell that you've, kind of practiced it and rehearsed it. And the world doesn't want that. They just want you. And that's what I think this platform has really done for me and for a lot of others, is you can just be you. You can just turn up, and it doesn't matter what your background looks like, or whether children are running across behind you, or, what you're wearing. Everyone is here actually just to engage and network and share, and stories are a big part of that. So thank you for that. And it's certainly, today you can't get me off video, right? So the lesson, the tip or the lesson that I'm sharing with the listeners is that like everyone has said, just do it. Put yourself out there, and the next thing you know, you're going to be loving it, whatever it is. So just do it.
I love that so much, Linda. And thank you so much also for sharing your war story. Like, you and Christine are some of the women that, like, I just, like, respect you guys so much. And to hear from, like, entrepreneurs like you, that you've done things like that, just makes me feel so much happier. I don't know why. But it's fail fast, fail forward. Like, I absolutely adore it. Thank you so much.
I think for me, what that actually brings to mind is, sometimes it's not about being perfect, and it's not about the procrastination. Yes, procrastination exists, and some of us do suffer from it. But then Mr. Levy also brought up the fact that there's something behind it, and what is it? So there's a lot of stuff going on in this conversation. I want to try and come at it from a completely different angle. I want to come at it from the angle of lack of inspiration. Because you will find that if you are not inspired to do something, you will generally procrastinate at, well, do I really want to do this now? Do I feel like this now? Lack of inspiration can kill many, many entrepreneurs, and it just leaves things dead in the water. And what I've actually found, especially with people and the dynamic of people, is that if you take a group of people that have similar interests, whether they're in different positions or do different jobs, but they're very similar, they're entrepreneurs, you put them all together, you put them in a space where they can actually build relationships with each other, there's this little thing, it's called encouragement. And it may sound like a very small, silly little thing, but at the end of the day, a little encouragement really goes a long way. It gets to a point where people actually start to inspire each other to achieve. And then it's not so much about the task that you were dreading to do. It becomes about the result as to what you feel once you've actually achieved it, when a whole bunch of people are encouraging you to be able to do that. So for me, it's about the people. It's about the dynamic. It's about the space. So when we want to achieve something, or we're looking at going in a particular direction and we're not quite sure what to do, and we send Mr. Levy a message saying, oh, we're thinking of doing this, what do you think? And he goes, well, guys, let's sit and have a chat and chat it through. And then it gives us that perspective, and then it gives us the drive to actually get it done. Then somebody hears about the project and they get excited. They're like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out. This is going to be so epic. What can we get involved with? What can we do? And you find that it becomes a natural flow of the people that are around you supporting you and getting done what you need to get done. Procrastination be damned. If you have the right people in the right space, you can actually work through that, because then you have the support. So from my perspective, if you're an entrepreneur and you're out there and you're trying to inspire yourself, good luck. Very difficult. Start surrounding yourself with people. Join a space like this. It doesn't have to be this space. It can be any space. Find a space where you fit. Fit in there. Inspire others, just as important, because otherwise nobody's going to bother inspiring you. Work yourself into that space, and you will find that the procrastination becomes less, because the excitement to achieve becomes more than the procrastination. Amen.
It's a true story. Also, by the way, the person we had previously before on the screen is Linda Dent from Just Ask Linda. Thank you, Chris, for letting me know. She's one of the best business coaches that you can ever have by your side. She teaches the P with Glee concept. So if you ever want to find out more about that, definitely reach out to Linda. I'm super keen to hear what you have to say on this topic, Nikki.
Hi, yeah, I must admit I thought I'd got away with not having any boo-boos on Zoom, but it got me last month. I was co-hosting some training and there were 15 people, and I took them out of their rooms and then stuck them back in and then pulled them out, and it was chaos. And Zoom kept shuffling them. It was really bad. But anyway, they had a good laugh about it, and then we all survived. So yeah, I love what you guys are saying. It all absolutely makes sense with the procrastination. For me, I prioritize everything to make myself feel better. It's not procrastination if I'm prioritizing, surely. So that's how I lie to myself. But for me, it's a trigger. So whatever triggers my procrastination is the thing that I need to deal with, whether it be fear or excitement or anything. I tend to make up these stories why I can't get to it. You've never got time. You just can't do it. And once I figure out that trigger, I can then decide how to deal with it. And if I really don't want to accept it, I find another way to do it. So yeah, that works for me. I tend to pull in resources and get everyone else to help me get it done, or to crack the whip. So yeah, Nikki from Virtual Excellence, Virtual Assistant Services.
How appropriate. Think about it. If we procrastinate on things too long, we can just give those things to a VA.
Yeah, literally just like hire a VA and your problems are over. You can keep procrastinating.
Procrastinate as much as you like.
It's not going to work anymore.
The VAs will sort it out. They're brilliant.
Also, one of the tricks that we do actually do when we meet entrepreneurs, like especially if they're still getting to know us, but even after like they've known us for a while, because like people like in entrepreneurship will come up with these like projects that are kind of like in their world, it's like a massive project. Like I want to run a course, or I want to have a summit, or I want to do a webinar, or I'm writing a book, or whatever it is. It's like these massive projects that they have like set their hearts on. It's going to take like 3 to 5 years, and they keep working at it and working at it. And then what we actually do is we introduce them to other entrepreneurs on the platform that would be that we know would be interested in helping with said project, or that just would be interested in just knowing about the project, seeing how it goes, getting involved. And then we just casually mention the project, and then we leave them.
And you watch the sparks fly.
And it's amazing when you start building these massive projects, like with other people, in front of other people, not being scared to be like, yeah, like one day, like, but now I'm just still making the course and I'm going to do 8 hours every single day for the rest of my life. It's like a prison sentence. No, like get it out there, start building it in front of everyone, and you like it just goes better from there.
Well, I think that's the famous speech of when you create a 5-year plan, you're creating the plan based on your own abilities. It's purely based on your own skill set. You have the ability to achieve X, Y, and Z in 5 years' time. I don't know, 5 years is too long for me. I think that's a waste of time. When you surround yourself with the right entrepreneurs and you surround yourself with the right relationships, they no such thing as 5 years. Because you're positioning yourself in such a way, you're being very strategic, that the people around you can actually get involved in your project because it's beneficial for them to be involved in that project. It's beneficial for them to be in that space. It can highlight them as well as yourself. What's this thing of 5 years? I don't get it. I remember Marlon's 5-year plan. It happened in 3 months. I don't understand what people are waiting for. Some people, and yet some people are determined to do it on their own. I have this vision. By the time 5 years happens, that topic is done and dusted. It's been through social media 5 years ago. It's done and dusted. Nobody's talking about it anymore. They've created an app to solve it, and you still want to talk about it on a summit that you decided you were going to set up 5 years ago. Why are we waiting? We have the right people in the right spaces. As entrepreneurs, we can position ourselves and make things happen just like that.
And also the reason why we do it is because we know, like, if you create something by yourself and you take, like, especially if it's something massive and big and everything, and then you have to still go out and beta test it, or, like, think of, like, the value in the spaces, or, like, how you're going to sell it only after you've created it, that's too late.
It's done.
Rather, like, have the people involved from the beginning, like, talk about it, chat with other people about it, have other people come in.
Involve your audience that you want to reach in part of your creating the space.
That's the way to do it. Then by the time you have to go out there and sell it, they're literally there. They're like selling it for you. They're like, thank goodness this is done. Like, sure, I needed this like a month ago. Let's quickly hear a response from Linda Date, and then I'm super keen to move on to Megan to hear from her on how to stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur. Linda, what's your response?
Oh yeah, just what when you were talking there, it just reminded me of this very morning having a conversation on the beach. It's like a business meeting on the beach, which is just amazing. With a lady that I've known for a number of years, and she's a kind of a career strategist and LinkedIn specialist. And she was talking a couple of weeks back of creating your small offer, or tiny offer, she called it. And I was battling with this concept, like, what does this tiny offer mean? I need to get it perfect, and like, who do I market it to, and which platforms do I put it on, and which payment integrations do I need, and this and this and this. And is this better than this one? So all of this stuff, which entrepreneurs start overthinking this thing. She was able to take my Glee jar, which most of you know, and turn that into a small offer. She said, not the long-term business coach, not a masterclass, not a 5 steps to greatness kind of coaching program, but just take your Glee acronym and just break it down into 5 simple questions to ask yourself in terms of growing, learning, empowering, enjoying, and create little videos, charge $5 or something, and get a little have people subscribe to a membership and bring them together. And I said, when she finished explaining, I said, well, that's like quite easy to do. It's not going to take me too long, and it doesn't cost me anything really except a bit of time. But it's a way that you might diversify your income, and it's a way to get people to understand who you are, rather than selling them this long, expensive program and trying to find your ideal client, right? That's hard work. Yeah, you've got to be a speaker at events, and you've got to, not to say don't do that, but there are also easier, simpler little ways to do it, and to work with your network to help you to do that. So that was my just response on what you said now, Nestine.
Love that, Linda. Do you want to tell us who you are now?
Yes, that's Linda Dance, business coach. Just ask Linda. I help my clients to pee and grow with Glee.
Not the P you're thinking of.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Linda.
Not the P you're thinking of, but the little green ones, right? Plan, energize, act.
I love that. So yeah, no, definitely get those big projects that you're procrastinating on out in the open.
Well,
connect with the people that are listed in the description below as a start.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we're actually here because some of the people in this space saw something in us when we were still learning to swim.
Yeah, like Linda, she was like, you guys are chaotic, unstructured, have no direction.
I don't even know what it was about.
I'm in. She was, but I love what you're trying to do. I'm in. And that's like the best kind of people to have by your side, because they like literally have your back because they're so in. It's amazing. Okay, so one of the other things that if you want to see Peter procrastinate, like, you have to do this to him. You have to make him make a video.
Not happening.
I have to chase him around the house, handcuff him to the chair, read the script to him.
I don't mind the handcuff part, but I'm not doing the video.
And he refuses to do this. And even while we're doing this, so anyway, in terms of marketing, Megan, I wanted to hear from you specifically, from being in the marketing space. Is that something entrepreneurs struggle with, procrastinating on their marketing? And how can we stop it?
Okay, thanks, Nestine, for putting me on the spot, because procrastination is my top priority. No, just kidding. But as a marketing mentor and trainer, it is the most important thing is a plan. Like, let's be honest. I know it always be like, oh God, please don't talk to me about planning. But essentially that's what it is. It's just what Linda's mentioned, is know what it is that you need to do. So I think I'll just talk specifically about social media at the moment because that's just a current topic. I've just recently written an article. And maybe it was a bit derogatory, but how many Happy Valentine posts went out on Happy Valentine's, which is fantastic. But are we all servicing the same clients? No. So my point being is rather with a plan, we can rather create content that we want to share that's relevant to our audience. But I know what happens. We procrastinate when we don't know who our audience is or what it is we're actually trying to sell to them. So we just go, oh, I don't know what to say today. Or, okay, I'm just going to put a Happy Valentine's post because I'm relevant and I'm out there and I'm saying something. Whereas in actual fact, in the bigger picture, you're showing up, don't get me wrong, but with, as Chris and I would say, no intention. So my biggest tip just for today is you need a plan so that you can create that intention. So you know who your audience is, what you're offering, that you can create your content plan for social media around that, because then it's easy to create a 1 to 3 month content plan. So you can show up, you don't have to procrastinate, you take control back, and you can do it consistently and look credible and be a professional that people know, like, and trust. All those fancy words from myself, Megan Kornberger from the Marketing Lifeline.
Thank you so much, Megan. I love that. And actually, I just figured out that's something I can totally relate to as well. Because when I think it was Marlon that first showed me that customer avatar sheet, and he put it in front of me, and I was like, this is torture. What exactly do you want me to do with this? Like, you want me to be accurate, yet I'm like completely thumb sucking, and at the same time it needs to be somewhat like, I'm like, this might
every accountant's dream.
It's horrible. Like, I was dying. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are just running, a lot of entrepreneurs, they're just like, I'm just going to run with it, see what works. But a lot of the times, actually, what we should be doing is coming back to who is our target market and speaking to a marketing professional like Megan, like Chris, like Marlon. They can help you figure out what on earth you are doing. You can stop doing everything. That is actually important.
We know this because we've had to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. But it is torture for sure. I mean, Stephen Westwood tortured us for 2 years. Like, every single meeting, is your messaging accurate? Yes, Stephen. Okay, explain to me what you do in one sentence. So, see, the thing is, it's a few sentences now. So yeah, rather do that right up front. Thank you so much, Megan. That's so valuable. Okay, and another step that we all entrepreneurs love to procrastinate in, sales. I mean, who of you got into entrepreneurship because you love to sell people things? Like, isn't that one of the most... Okay, Christina's special. Like, of course Christina's special. But Nikki, that's what I want to hear from you. How do you stop procrastinating as an entrepreneur in the actual sales arena? Because that's where you come into play.
Thank you, Nestine. So I actually wanted to bring out a different spin. I'm sorry if I missed a little bit of the beginning of the meeting, but look, how to deal with procrastination. I also find one of the things that helps is actually setting up your priorities. I love to do a pros and a cons list. What's wrong with setting up a priorities list? So you can actually put everything in order, put a little number next to it, and you can actually set up your day. So you can get rid of the bland stuff done in the morning. So you've got the rest of the day to do the things that you actually do enjoy. Coming from a sales perspective, I don't want to say that I love procrastinating sales. The thing is, I love people. People are great. Good ones, bad ones, it doesn't really matter. But, you got to live and you got to learn. So to be honest, I don't really see myself procrastinating in that stage. It's the admin behind it that I suffer with. So I think looking at a VA in the future might be the best opportunity for me. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Nikki. And that's Nikki Lisa, our Chief Connection Apprentice at Explore Project. It's so amazing to have you on board, Nikki. Let's go give it to the Levy, and then we'll give Christine a last minute to wrap up, and then we can actually wrap up this show. But I'm loving this so much, guys. Just thank you again if you're here, if you're watching, participating on YouTube or Zoom, doesn't matter. You are doing something amazing. You're connecting with entrepreneurs from around the world. You're part of our family now. Let's just all click, 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 connect with each other, help each other. This is the way we're all going to grow and move forward. Stephen.
Thank you, the Buddha. So what I'm going to, listening to everybody, something came up for me now, and that's, telling people not to procrastinate is like telling people not to have emotions. We get them. We get emotional, and we do. I can't speak for everybody here, but I can speak for myself. I still find myself procrastinating sometimes. I think it's being able to recognize that and then not staying in that space for too long. Because procrastinate you will. There's always something that's going to stop you. We're human beings. And it's like emotions, it's like saying to someone, don't get upset. Of course you're going to get upset at something. You're going to get happy at something. You're going to get angry at something. It's how long you stay there. That's the problem. And it's the same for me. It came up to me now with procrastination. Is maybe we put so much focus on it, and then what you focus on is what you get. So maybe we should focus on moving forward and not on bashing ourselves up and staying in that space for so long, in this procrastination space. Just recognize it, why you're procrastinating, and then make a plan to get out of it. And what do you need to do? It's like if you ever walked on a thin plank with 2 bricks off the ground and you walk across it so easily. Put that plank higher up, and now you start swaying a bit, not because you're not focused on getting to the other side, you're focused on not falling off the plank. So my thing to entrepreneurs is just don't bash yourself up for procrastinating. Just recognize it. What do you need to do? Get out of it, and then do it. That's Stephen from Dare to Be, Coaching and Beyond.
I have permission now. Please don't get upset. I crashed your car.
Wayne.
Well, it's you're going to get upset anyway, aren't you?
You would.
I love that, Stephen.
You weren't out of the house. We should totally do that, Stephen. All I could actually think of while you were speaking is we should have this massive entrepreneurial get together and then have a plank and make entrepreneurs walk it.
Walk the plank.
Put that on YouTube. That will trend. Hey, Chris, are you in?
Because we're pirates. And we walk the plank.
I love it, though. Brilliant analogy, Stephen. Thank you so much. I love it. Let's go to Christine. Christine, please wrap up the show with your thoughts and comments and pulling everything together like you do. And then we'll have a day.
Awesome. So I think you were asking about procrastinating with sales. And I think it's because we need to reframe sales the same way we need to reframe procrastination. Because ultimately, if you think of what you do as serving, it's really important to have a conversation about how you can serve. And that really takes it from in your head to how can I help someone else? It's much easier to move out of the procrastination. And so one of the things that I am very mindful of when I'm coaching with clients who are struggling to acquire clients and to build relationships is how can you serve that client at the highest level? And is that not your number one priority in terms of your business? Because that makes you feel good, that helps them get where they want to do, and ultimately that creates the ripples that we're wanting to create, that chasing dreams and making a positive impact, which is so fundamental to why we chose this path. And so I always say, focus on your non-negotiables. You need to focus on the non-negotiables that move your business forward. That's the impact you can create. It doesn't have to be 100 things on your to-do list. My non-negotiables are 3 things or less I need to do every day. It takes me 30 minutes or less. So I go, let's do them first thing in the morning so I know I can create impact today. What's the thing that will move my business forward? If it's a sales conversation and I'm avoiding it, I want to think about why I'm avoiding it, but then I go, can I help this person? I need to get out of my own headspace and realize I am here to serve them. They will always choose if I'm the right person, if I have the skills. That is a choice. I gift them that choice. I am mindful of that choice. But I would say, remind yourself, what's your vision? What's your why? Your why compels you through the uncomfortable actions. It compels you through the mindset that says, I am here to serve. And your number one mantra of mine is, I show up at the highest level. I never want to leave opportunity behind, because my opportunity creates more opportunity. That's the action piece I spoke of earlier. So for me, my final thoughts are, get clear on your non-negotiables. Show up in service. Remember, you're not perfect, but you will learn, and to have fun. You will look back and giggle at the mistakes you made, at the hiccups you have. And I think it was Marty in the chat that we were talking about. No one dies from embarrassment, ever. Ever. So just remember that this is a painful moment you will look back upon, and it will actually be the story that makes you relatable. You always need to be relatable, because you're just in a continuum, a few chapters ahead of someone else. Show up and give them your experience. And when you do, you make an amazing impact. Those are my final thoughts today. Great to see everybody on this Monday coffee shop.
Thank you so much, Christine. What brilliant words. Guys, if you feel like I do right now, like warm and fuzzy and happy and energized for the week, and like you got your bit of insight for the week that's really going to make a difference, I want to encourage you to share this show. Put it out there. Talk to people about it. Bring other entrepreneurs to this space, because you know what? We're creating something magical. We're creating a space that is safe. A space that is a learning space, a space where we can help each other. And that is what is going to save our global economy. And that's the whole reason why we started Explore ProTech.
And if you don't feel warm and fuzzy, well, then you probably need to be reaching out to the people on the screen. Their links are in the description below, and figure out why you don't feel warm and fuzzy.
Just start with Christine, work your way across, and you'll feel better, we promise you. There's no way your business can't grow if you go through all of these people. Links in the description below. Remember to like this episode and also subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell, because that's how you get notified every single time we go live. We're here for you every single week, guys. We will be here again next week talking about another topic, having another group of beautiful entrepreneurs on the screen. But we're here for you, and we'll continue showing up as long as you do. We love you, and remember, we believe that all your entrepreneurial dreams will come true. It's just a matter of how you execute it.
If you stop procrastinating.
Okay, so reach out to the people on the screen. Okay, love you lots, and see you again next week. Have fun. Bye-bye.